What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Porter Rock 77, and I'm coming back at you with another commentary video, specifically talking about the Nintendo Switch. But so far, I appreciate all the love and support you guys been giving me. I'm almost at 500 subscribers, and it's been a great feeling. It's a great trip. It's been great, and we're kicking off 2017. Tune in if you're new to the channel. Every Wednesdays at 7 p.m. I do a 60 frames no lag podcast. It's a great podcast. I try to have guests that I would like to consider subject matter experts. If I'm talking a Nintendo topic, I try to have a good Nintendo guest. Very active in the Nintendo community. Same thing with Xbox, PC, PlayStation. That's right, and that's what I try to do. And we have great conversations. It's been a great time. Check out the one we had last week. I had some pro Xbox gamers. We were talking about Scalebound, and it ended up great. Uh, so now let's talk about the Nintendo Switch. You see a lot of YouTubers and a lot of YouTube videos talking about the doom and gloom about the Nintendo Switch. But let me play devil's advocate for a little bit. And and here's some of my opinion what I think what Nintendo could do to make Nintendo Switch a successful platform. And this is just four things that I've been thinking about. All right. And let's see if you agree and just let me know. But let's start out. I think of four things Nintendo could do. Number one, let's start out with Nintendo first party IPs. We all know Nintendo has some of the most iconic IPs in gaming history. But those IPs isn't enough. As we can see from the Wii U, didn't do much for that platform. The Nintendo Wii is that platform success was backed by the gimmick or the fad of the Wiimote controllers. When you look at something, let's say like for example, Wii Fit, that app, it's not even a game, it's an exercise app, sold like 35, 40 million, which is more than the combined sales of Super Mario Galaxy 1, 2, and Zelda Skyward Sword. And then you look at the GameCube and N64. Hell, the N64 had probably, well, some will consider the best games of all time, like Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Star Fox, uh, Donkey Kong. You know, um, that's when Super Smash Brothers was introduced for the first time. And yet PlayStation One was the dominant platform of the era. So Nintendo first party IP, as it stands right now, is not enough. Where the strength will lie with Nintendo first party would be creating new IPs, creating new iconic franchises. I think if Nintendo can create franchises that would cater towards those that were down with Nintendo since the NES, Super NES, and N64, that could give them a huge advantage with the Switch. Some people just moved down from Super Mario, and some stood, they still Super Mario Galaxy fans. I mean, Super Mario fans, Zelda fans, but many that were with the Nintendo Entertainment System, with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, moved on. Now, I'm not saying Nintendo should create a Grand Theft Auto because that's not their style. They're not going to create that type of game, but they could create a game similar to like Infamous. Think of their own third world superhero, or maybe even try to negotiate with Marvel, DC, and take one of those characters and create an IP using with from Nintendo developers. Imagine the great gameplay ideas they could come up with in terms of a superhero movie. They basically they need to expand the IP to create new franchises that cater to the older Nintendo fans that's been around with the NES and Super NES to bring us back, to bring a lot of gamers back. Nothing wrong with still making Super Mario and catering to the younger demographic because a lot of the younger demographic, I agree that they should experience the same type of enjoyment I had when I was a kid with Super Mario. I see nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with keeping Mario the way he is. I see nothing wrong with keeping Zelda the way Zelda is. That game is. I see nothing wrong with keeping those IPs because the newer generation of gamers get to experience, and create a passion for Nintendo. But create experience for the older crowd that got older. You don't have to go crazy like Grand Theft Auto and cuss and all that stuff, but something more mature and with more depth. With that. So I think that would be the number one. First party IPs, create new ones, create new icons. For the older generation. So that's number one. Number two, third party support. All right. Now I know that argument is rehashed, but my point is not the same as what we traditionally hear. What we traditionally hear about third party support is simply they need to get the Madden, they need to get the Call of Duty, they need to get the Destiny. In my opinion, that's a mistake now. All right. Now that we know what the platform is with the Switch, that will be a mistake because if Nintendo tries to go after those games, they will be severely worse versions of those games. The Nintendo Switch is not even as powerful as the Xbox One, nowhere near it, right? So it's going to get bad versions. So you're not going to pay $50, $60 for an infinitely worse game than what you could get on the Xbox One and the Xbox One costs $250, even some at $200. You're not gonna buy that game. You're not buying the Switch for that. I think Switch would really be in trouble if it's going after those multiplats. At the same time, most people won't even play it on the Switch. No one's gonna play Call of Duty. Very few are gonna play the new Call of Duty on the Switch. Especially you have to pay for online and stuff like that. When I say third party support, Nintendo needs to foster relationships to bring third party exclusives, create unique third party games from these major developers, from Ubisoft, from EA, unique experiences onto that platform. So not only does it dub as a third party support, but it's more exclusives for your platform. Great AAA level games for that specific hardware. That will bring a robust library for your platform. I think that's something Nintendo has to foster. But in order for that to happen, Nintendo gotta stop being arrogant. They have to go out to the developers. They have to have the conversations. Maybe even come 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 up with some type of marketing deal or pay for some of the development. Something to get these games onto their platform for the Switch. So that would be my second point. My third point is if they went with this architecture, I would hope it's because ease of development, right? And if it's easier to develop for, then they need to make sure they don't delay games and they push out content. No more one Zelda every 5 years, 6 years. Now I know some of you Nintendo fans don't want Zelda to get stale or annual rehash, but I think if Switch is gonna be around for for 5 years or so, I think 2 or 3 Zeldas will be good enough. And push out Metroid, push out all those first party IPs, along with creating new ones and release them in a timely manner. I'm talking like a year, like 2 year release, not this 3 4 year long cycle. Your hardware is not that powerful to warrant a 3 4 year long development cycle. You should be pushing out a brand new projects within 2 years. And hopefully the system's that easy. So that will be an advantage where you could push out top killer games in a timely manner within 2 years. And I think gamers will appreciate that constant flow of games. And then for my final point, and I think this is bigger, and I don't know how many of you PC and console gamers will react to this, but I think Nintendo needs to go after the mobile developers, the developers that make games on phones and tablets. Now, hear me out. My brother-in-law, he owns a channel called Pocket Council, and I'll put his information on the link. And he's a big time mobile streamer. All right, and that's what he does. In fact, he's pretty much a mobile gamer primarily. He still games on consoles, but he kind of moved on to mobile gaming. And just seeing him, talking to him, sitting down, seeing the games he plays, mobile gaming has a wide variety of games, and I didn't realize how many dedicated mobile gamers there are. I thought mobile gamers were just casuals and they'll play free games. They're not. There are millions upon millions of mobile gamers that pay $10, $20 for games, and that is their gaming hobby. They game strictly on mobile, and we're not talking like 1 or 2 hours. We're talking like 15 hours. And these guys have chat, some type of thing called Discord, where they do party chat and they cross game, and like iOS and Android gamers could play with each other. And they play all types of RPGs. They play shooters. They buy accessories. They buy pro controllers that they connect with their phones and tablets, and they stream it onto their TV. It's a very big industry for gamers. It's just that it's their own area, it's their own niche and stuff like that. All right. In fact, there are many AAA developers that used to develop AAA games for big companies, and now they strictly went mobile and stuff like that. So I think if Nintendo could start fostering relationships with these mobile developers are already used to um, working on the Tegra chip and all these type of mobile processors and tablet processors. They could create some amazing experiences on a Nintendo Switch. Now, a lot of these games, some of them I saw, they are really nice looking, fun playing games. The only stigma behind these games is the platform that they're on. They're on phones. So most console gamers or PC gamers are going to dismiss these games simply because of what the platform on. But if you take some of these games, put it on a Nintendo platform, and give it advertisement and a bigger budget, just a little bit bigger budget, they're going to be some amazing experiences, amazing games that you have. And they push out a lot. Mobile platform developers push out a lot of content on phones and tablets. And I think they're used to developing on ARM architecture. So I think if Nintendo could foster these developers and these developers starts pushing out bigger budget games, not as big as PS4 and Xbox One, but within the realm of what Switch does, you're gonna see a lot of amazing exclusives and content and unique experiences that you can't get on PS4 and Xbox One. And I know some people are gonna dismiss it because they're like, ha ha ha, mobile gaming. But when you see some of the content that they release, you're gonna be impressed. So I think Nintendo should leverage that. So that's my four things in my opinion, that would help the Switch out. You know, new first party icons, right? Third party support, but not the traditional ones from PS4 and Xbox One. Talking about unique to the Switch, but Nintendo has to foster that relationship. Timely releases of games with easier development tools, and then finally, start talking with the mobile industry, start talking with mobile developers. I think that combination added on to what Nintendo's doing could bring success. Now, that's just an opinion. I'm not guaranteeing success, and I'm not guaranteeing failure. It's up in the air. I really don't know in which direction the Switch is gonna go. But I think these four things could help the platform and really push it and really make it a successful. That's just my opinion. What's your opinion? Let me know. Hit me up in a comment. If you haven't known, I've tried to respond to as many comments as I can, and I appreciate the feedback. Some of you provide feedback on how to improve my channel. I appreciate it. My channel is growing, getting better, getting more professional. Try to do, eventually I'll have a better background as things go, so it could be more appealing. I'm thinking about other projects, to grow my channel stuff. But anyway, I appreciate everything you've done. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Check out my other content and my other commentaries and my past podcasts. I think you'll enjoy it and stuff. But anyway, let me know what you think. Hit me up on Twitter, PorterRock77. I appreciate the feedback. And stand by for tomorrow for my 60 Frames No Lag podcast. It's going to be we're going to be talking about the Switch and some other topics on gaming. All right? But anyway, for all you Xbox gamers, PlayStation gamers, PC, and Nintendo gamers, I appreciate all of you. And remember, it doesn't matter what you choose to play. Just enjoy playing it. Because at the end of the day, it's just you and your console. It's just you and your handheld. It's just you and your preferred platform. And that's all that matters. Just keep it gaming and stuff like that. We can all have fun and, throw little jabs at each other. But at the end of the day, just gaming is just supposed to be entertainment. And, just find your own way to have fun and stuff. All right? But anyway, please subscribe and welcome to the family. All right? Anyway, take care and see you tomorrow. 60 Frames No Lag Podcast. It's your boy, Porter Rock 77. Hit me up on Twitter. Take care.